Welcome to the fourth session of our 2021 conference. My name is William Brooks, and I am part of the benefits team here at Beehive Insurance. This webinar today is sponsored by HR Services, and we would like to extend our appreciation to them for participating in our conference. Our presenter today for this session is Ken Spencer. Ken founded HR Services Incorporated in 2004, providing benefit, compliance, ERISA, and HR solutions for clients across the country. He has over 30 years of HR, compliance, and benefits experience and taught HR compliance for 8 years at Westminster College. He holds a master's degree in human resource management from the University of Utah and is SPHR certified. His remarks today will be focused on creating an attractive workspace environment. I will now turn the time over to him.
Welcome everyone to our training today on creating a great place to work. Let's start our discussion first by talking about why we even care about creating a great place to work. Almost every employer that we work with at HR Service right now are experiencing some level of difficulty finding good employees. There's been a lot of baby boomers that have retired. We've had a lot of challenges with COVID. Some people just don't want to work. We don't see this trend changing anytime soon. In fact, we anticipate it getting worse before it gets better. More than ever before, employers need to have a strong employee retention and attraction program in place to help them to create this great place. There are, of course, other benefits to having a great place to work, such as increased employee productivity, engagement levels, that in turn result in better service and overall business growth. Today, we're going to discuss really the key ingredients needed to create a great place to work that will help you attract and retain needed talent for your business and weather the storm. Each of these topics could be a full class in and of themselves. The key ingredients include company image, getting the right people, knowing the score, creating a positive culture, being flexible to employee needs, competitive pay and benefits, being transparent with communications, employee engagement, and inspiring leaders. So I'll go through some details on each of these now. There are many things that impact a company's image. It starts by being clear about who you are, where you're going, and how you're going to get there. Companies that define clear values that show what they stand for are better able to find similar people and to begin to form the kind of company they want to be. Of course, having a clear reason for existence and purpose, along with a vision of where you're going, helps rally the team and keeping you moving in that same direction. So how you separate yourself from the competition, your goals and your objectives, the things that you want to achieve, all impact your image and the culture that you create. The one overriding factor that determines how others see you and ultimately your culture is how your leaders and supervisors behave in the examples they show, their actions, the things they do at work. What gets reinforced sets the company on course for how they will be viewed by others. The manner in which employers handle their employee relations further determine the company's image. We'll talk more about how to create highly engaged and motivated employees and to maintain positive interactions during our discussions today. Well, most of us have read the book Good to Great. If you haven't, I recommend it, by Jim Collins, where he talks about how critical it is to get the right people on the bus and in the right seats. Getting the right people is another key ingredient in creating a great place to work. It starts by having clearly defined job descriptions that define not only the position, but the people requirements, details about the people's knowledge, skills, and abilities and qualifications that you need for them to be successful in the role. And then all your recruiting efforts would then focus on finding that kind of person, as well as your selection techniques, interviewing, everything to help you find the right people. A word of caution, many people involved in making hiring decisions are not trained in how to interview or other selection techniques. It's important for everyone involved in the selection process to know the do's and don'ts of finding the right people, what they can say, what they can't say, so they're not creating risk for you as an organization. Now, great places to work have clearly defined company, team, and individual expectations, purposes, and key performance indicators. They know those 3 to 5 indicators that help them know when the job expectations are being met and when challenges exist. Well, in today's technology, having visual dashboards that give employees and leaders key information to operate by helps everyone to better perform. It also provides needed feedback, both positive and constructive, so leaders know when to give recognition and praise and when to give corrective action and feedback. So maintaining a positive work environment and culture is critical to creating a great place to work and for your business growth. This has become even more apparent over the past year or so, with a high need to include everyone to eliminate all forms of discrimination, harassment, backbiting, negativity in the workplace. It also helps to create a culture of gratitude and appreciation, celebrating wins, giving praise and recognition, and sharing when things go well and when they don't. Positive organizations understand that mistakes will happen and focus on learning from them to help them improve and get better, rather than focusing on placing blame or attacking those who made mistakes. All in all, positive culture encourages personal and career growth, providing needed feedback, coaching, and training to help others progress in the business and in life in general. Well, many of us were afraid when we had, all of a sudden, we had to trust employees during the challenges of COVID, sending employees out to work remotely. But then we were pleasantly surprised to discover that it actually worked quite well. We further learned that we could trust our team members to accomplish their work, some of them with their own schedule. The traditional 8 to 5 work hours may be changing to allow more flexibility for work-life balance, letting employees accomplish their work at their own desired timeline when it makes sense for them. Now, obviously, some positions that need to speak with customers during certain time frames may not work well with flexible schedules. Performance systems are focusing more on results and impact with less emphasis on a set attendance schedule. Now, many of our clients have employees who work remotely now. Many have both who work in the office, some remote, kind of a hybrid between the two. Paid time off is another method of being flexible with folks. Nothing new here, but giving people scheduled time so that they can take care of their personal items, go on their vacations, helps to maintain a good work-life balance. The more flexible we can be as employers, the better we can attract and retain great people and create this kind of work organization we want. Well, no organization can be a great place to work if they're not competitive with their compensation and benefits for employees. There are a number of strategies to help make sure you have fair and competitive pay at work. Many will purchase or participate in salary surveys with similar organizations like themselves in the market. They strive to match as many positions as possible in the market. Many will also conduct a job evaluation to help them determine the value and rank order of positions at their organization. And this helps them to be perceived as internally fair and equitable, and helps with some of the positions that they can't match with survey data. So you find the position with the same internal ranking scores and then assign them the same pay range that you found with the survey data, and that's how that works. But critical to a fair pay and benefits system is having some fairly perceived pay rationale and method of determining pay ranges and individual pay amounts within those ranges. There's a number of ways to establish pay range guidelines, such as establishing a pay minimum, midpoint, and maximum. It is good to define pay guidelines for giving pay increases, promotions, and new hires as well, to make sure you're consistent and fair. It's critical to further look at possible areas of unintentional bias or discrimination by comparing similar pay job titles and wages by gender and race to help identify any areas of risk. Now, I won't go into details here, but a well-designed pay program would also look at how you pay in terms of base, incentives, and bonus. And there's ways you can do that to make that go better. So how you communicate within your organization, the frequency and what you communicate will greatly impact the great place you have to work. I find that organizations that are very open and transparent in all areas of their business are most effective. Share with employees the good news, the challenges, the changes that are taking place. When possible, obtain their input and their help to get buy-in and support for important changes and initiatives. Some obvious areas to provide clear communications are in company values, the vision, mission, strategy, objectives, expectations, and share those wins and failures. The types of communications, the mediums we use may vary, but use what makes sense. Sometimes email's the thing to do, where other times we should be in person. But having regular, meaningful meetings for the entire company, have them by department, have one-on-one is recommended. And of course, there's great ways to have meetings. And there are many definitions of employee engagement out there, such as engaged employees work with passion and feel a profound connection to their company. They do the right thing even when no one's looking. Well, having these kind of team members is essential in creating a great place to work. So let's briefly highlight a few of the things you can do to create highly engaged employees, realizing this is a full class in and of itself. But organizations need to regularly know the heart and mind of their people. So do surveys and get their input. What's going well? What are their concerns? Get them to be part of the solution to the challenges. Helps even more. Team members need to feel strong ownership for their job and the company. So empower them with control and a voice whenever possible. What gets noticed gets repeated. So have formal and informal means of recognizing and celebrating outstanding performance to increase the engagement level of your teams. Some of the things we've talked about earlier, such as hiring people that align with your values and fit well with your culture and your team and management, all help with this as well. But keep in mind, we value diversity, so be careful not to hire just people that are all alike. We want variety of individuals as well. Fairness, consistency, clear expectations, and feedback are all critical elements in getting highly engaged team members. So if you can build in motivating factors into team members' jobs, such as the job itself, feelings of achievement, being in on things, feeling like they've added value, challenging jobs. This helps people to be more engaged at work. Make sure you have downtime after high stressful peak periods to avoid people from, make sure your people are not burning out as well. So the last area that I'll discuss today in creating a great place to work is the need of having inspiring leaders with strong leadership skills. Good leaders show genuine care and interest in their team members. They're available and they don't shut themselves away in an office. Often they're out managing by walking around. They encourage team members to come forward with questions and ideas. They're very skilled in obtaining input and buy-in from their team and encouraging team members to feeling like they're all one. We're all part of the same group. They trust their team members and are trustworthy, always following through with what they say and do. They never speak negatively about another team member, someone in management, or about a company policy. In general, they complain up, never sideways or down. They're also very flexible with team members when possible, both with their scheduling and their workloads, striving to balance the needs of the organization with those of the individuals and the team members and their different skill sets and what they can do. Their communication with their team is one-on-one or in teams. They're always open, direct, and transparent. They seek to coach, train, and develop their team members, helping them progress in their career and growing personally. Well, as you can see, there are many areas that need attention if you want to create a great place to work. Becoming the company that people want to work for, it takes effort. There are a number of things that you can do as an organization, such as the things we've gone through here today, but it does take effort and time to make these things happen.
Thank you so much, Ken, for sharing your expertise with us today. We appreciate you sharing your information and knowledge on hiring and retaining employees, especially in the current employment environment. Thank you all for joining us today, and make sure you RSVP for next week's sessions on financial well-being and all about the Hive.